That bucket of popcorn in your lap right now, it cost the cinema about 60 pence to make. You paid £8 for it. That's a markup of over 1200%. And that ridiculous price, it's actually the reason your movie ticket didn't cost £20. Here's why. Here's something most people don't know about movie theaters. When you buy a £10 ticket, the theater doesn't keep £10. In the first few weeks of a big release, the studio takes about 70%. The theater walks away with around £3. £3 to pay for the building, the staff, the electricity, the projector, the screen, the sound system. That doesn't work, so theaters found another way to stay alive. They sell you popcorn. The math is simple. Tickets barely cover the bills. Concessions are where the profit lives. In fact, popcorn, drinks, and sweets make up only about 20% of a theater's total revenue, but they generate nearly half of all profits. Because unlike ticket money, the theater keeps every single penny from what you eat and drink. Let's break down what's actually in that bucket. The kernels themselves, about 12 pence worth. The oil they're popped in, a few pence more. And then there's the secret ingredient, something called flavacol. Flavacol is an ultra-fine butter-flavored salt that's been used in cinemas for decades. It costs a fraction of a penny per serving. But here's what it does. Flavacol dissolves into the oil as the kernels pop. It seasons them from the inside out. And it fills the entire lobby with that smell you can't resist. It's engineered, and it costs almost nothing, all in. Kernels, oil, flavacol, the bag, somewhere around 60 pence, sold for £8. That's over 1200%. And it gets bigger. The soda you bought, the syrup and carbonated water cost about 15 pence. You paid £5. That's over 3000%. In a single year, one major cinema chain made over $1 billion from concessions at an 84% profit margin. To put that in perspective, Apple, the most profitable company on earth, runs at about 24%. Cinema popcorn as a business is nearly 4 times more profitable than selling iPhones. Now you might be thinking, this sounds like a scam, but here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Economists have studied this, and they found that expensive popcorn actually keeps your movie ticket cheaper. There's a concept called price discrimination, charging different people different amounts for the same experience. Here's how it works at the cinema. You've got 2 types of moviegoers. Type 1, the casual viewer. They'll only come if tickets are cheap. They might skip the snacks. Type 2, the die-hard fan. They're coming regardless of what's playing. And they're almost definitely buying popcorn. If theaters raised ticket prices to cover their costs, the casual viewers would stop coming, attendance would drop, theaters would lose money, so instead they keep tickets as low as possible and charge more for the extras. The die-hard fans who buy popcorn are effectively subsidizing cheaper tickets for everyone else. The expensive snack is a voluntary tax, only paid by the people willing to pay it, and that keeps the whole system running. This system isn't new. It goes back nearly 100 years. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, movie theaters were struggling. People had no money. Then theater owners noticed something. Street vendors outside were selling popcorn to people as they walked in. The theaters banned them. Then they realized, wait, why are we giving this money to someone else? They installed their own popcorn machines inside the lobby. It worked so well that popcorn basically saved the cinema industry during its hardest decade. Theaters that sold popcorn survived. The ones that didn't closed. And nearly a century later, the same math still holds. Now, is any of this unfair? You could argue yes, especially when a family of 4 spends £40 on snacks they could make at home for 3. But here's the counterpoint. Without those concession prices, your movie ticket wouldn't be £10. It would be closer to 20 or 25. Because theaters genuinely don't make money from showing films. They make money from feeding you while you watch. Attendance has been falling for decades. In the 1930s, about 65% of Americans went to the cinema regularly. Today, it's under 10%. More than a fifth of all theaters have closed in the last 20 years. For the ones that remain, popcorn isn't a luxury extra. It's the reason the lights stay on. So next time you're standing at the concession counter, handing over £8 for something that cost 60 pence to make, you're not being ripped off. Not exactly. You're participating in a pricing system that's been keeping cinema tickets affordable for almost a century. You're paying the popcorn tax, and if you think 1200% is a wild markup, Wait until you see what's in your morning coffee.